seconds here. Hold that thought. Should be straight. Let me know if you see it, Pink.
Oh,
I see it. Okay.
It's up.
We'll go ahead.
It's a state of mind, don't waste my time. Can't hold me down for nothing now. So you be loud, baby, be proud. Don't hold your head down no more. Rising up from the clouds, I'm gonna stand up and take back what I know is mine. Change won't hold me down. Freedom is who I am and what I'm gonna be. You say I walk too proud, say I way too loud. Who are you to judge me? We all eat and bleed and sleep and breathe the same way. I be my own saving grace. You keep the lies in the hay. Stand the test of time. Through the dark I'll shine. It's a state of mind. Don't waste my time. Can't hold me down for nothing now. So you be loud, baby, be proud. Don't hold your head down no more. Nobody hold what's in your soul. Restrain me for what you better let go. Go, it's clear as the daylight. My wrongs just may be right. So I'ma cleanse from the shame, wipe me down from the rain. I'ma get what's mine, reclaiming all my time. To rise no more. They say the good Lord's coming and that brings them joy. I can't hold my peace and just stay still. We all know that ain't no way to live. It's the state of mind. Don't waste my time. Can't hold me down. No, 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 no. So you be loud, baby, be proud. Don't hold your head down no more.
If you do, have him come over to Ace. Come over to Ace. That's a vibe right there.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Once again, you guys are back on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. That was Jabari Clay. He made a Juneteenth anthem, if you will, called Freedom. All right, and I was just telling Will Lee, I just saw him perform that song live. He's amazing. He's an amazing live artist. He does a lot of work in the cities, right here from Orlando, West Orlando, that is. Shout out to Jabari Clay.
He's got an old soul voice.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. That was a whole vibe right
there.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, for sure.
If you catch this, Jabari, make sure you pull up to the Ace, man. I got a spot for you. I'll give it to you at halftime show.
Yeah, perform, man.
That's right. That's right. I'll make sure to make that connection. Like I said, again, you guys are on the bench podcast. Don't forget we're available on all, and I do mean all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Today we got our main man, Will Lee, Ace League Orlando director. All right. And we're going to be talking about the Ace League, the new season. Do you call it a season? Do you call it, what do you, is that fair to say?
Yeah, it's a summer season.
It's a summer season?
It's definitely a summer season.
All right. And it's definitely knocking on the door right here this Sunday coming up. We're going to talk a lot about that. Of course, NBA Finals. We're in the middle of that. Tonight is a game, actually. Skip and Shannon got some beef, or not beef. It's over because
Parting ways.
they're parting ways.
absolutely.
All right, and then we got some other NBA entertainment news, as always. Some funny stuff, some fun stuff. We'll get to that as well. Usually, lately, what we've been doing the last couple weeks here, a month, I usually start off with a thought I've been having, and then we just start the show after that. Just something that's been on my mind over the week here, and then we talk about, expound on it. So this is what's on my mind today, actually. It's going to start off sad, but it's going to make a point later, all right? So my uncle is my mom's brother, right? My mom passed last year. Now my uncle, he's in the hospital. He's not doing good. He's probably not going to make it, but we're rooting for him, all right? He's in the ICU. My uncle is a guy, I see a lot of myself in my uncle. My uncle doesn't have any children, doesn't have a wife, no girl, and he's in the hospital, and the only two people that's going to check up on him is myself and his brother. Now, he has another brother, but his other brother's not going to check on him. It's me and his brother, my Uncle Seymour. We the only two that's been going up there to check on him. And it's funny because not funny, but weird, because when I go see him, I'm like, man, I got to turn old and sick one day, or whatever the case may be, whatever what's in my cards. And, like I said, right now I don't have any children or a wife or whatever. And what if that's me sitting there and what have you? And then when you look at it from the standpoint also, it's like his life, he chose fun. So on the flip side of that, he chose fun. He always went the fun route. He didn't want to keep a wife or a lady that was more drama, and he wanted to live freely, so no kids. All right, and that's kind of the route I'm choosing right now, currently, even though I do aspire to have kids or whatever. But right now, I'm in my fun stage still. At this old age I am.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. How old are you, Bubba?
Hey, I'm not saying I'm right about it now. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm just saying that's the facts of it. Just living in reality, trying to live in reality. So, not what you think about it, but just, what should I be beating myself up about it? Do I,
I guess it's more so of how old are you, man? Let's get that. Because there's an age, right? There's like an expiration date on a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? So,
milk and Bubba's fun stage.
Like the fun stage. You talking about mid-20s, early 30s, maybe. I get it, but like if you pushing that 40 piece,
I'm in the middle.
You in the middle?
34, 35, yeah.
34, 35? Yeah, man, you should start be making
wrapping it up.
Yeah, you
transition.
You starting to make that transition. Like, you got to now, you know what I mean? Because, like, at what stage do you look at it and you say, hey, I want to find something of substance, right? And then now you're going to be starting to look at the women who have been through a lot of bad relationships. The older and older they get, that means more and more bad relationships, which means it's going to be harder and harder for you to make that transition. So if I was you, but like you do you. Or you can always find you a partner and have fun with too now. Now you can get a turn up, a turn up partner.
Right.
To be a partner in crime. You always got that option. So I guess I would say start making that transition. No, if that's something you truly want, because that's one of my biggest fears is to die alone.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm the opposite side of that. I think 99% of the time you die alone.
Well, I guess let me rephrase that. I think the biggest fear is that you are spending that kind of time with someone, right? You're in a marriage of 25, 30 years, and then you get into your 60s, and one of them says, hey, you know what? I had enough of you. Right? You get that
long overdue, but it's happened.
You get that far along at that point in time. Yeah, that's rough. Like, you know what I'm saying? To be in your 60s and having to start all over as far as your companionship and everything else. That's what I mean by dying alone. You know what I mean? Like,
it's not the dying part. It's kind of living the back end of your life without a companion.
With the remorse of, like, I wasted all these years and thinking that this was my forever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
When you think it's your forever partner and then things don't work out the way it's supposed to.
Well, but see, that's the thing. Like Bubba's avoiding this dynamic right now. He's just carrying on. Like he could get hitched up in the next year and then go 25 years till he's 60 and then realize he made a horrible mistake for the last quarter century.
Well, you know what the honest God truth is, and most men won't admit this. But like I said, I'm a real dude, and I always just spit it real. Exactly. But most men don't want to admit that we have that person, we have that name who hurt us to our core, right? And nobody wants to address that for real. Not in our, the girls, the women, they can go to their best friend, their mamas, their aunties, their grandmothers, and work through those things, right? Whereas when we get hit with that, and we all got it, every man at this table got that woman, that name, that just the mere mention of her name kind of give us that, I remember what I felt like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And sometimes it takes us a lifetime to try to get over it. But we don't openly admit to those type of issues,
That's real.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's very true. I mean, I agree with that completely. But that's happened. Like, what can you do about it? You can't do anything. But you internalize it. You make peace with it. You move forward.
But we're men. We don't have the resources nor the outlets to work through it, though, for the most part. Because, just like when we get hurt, what do? We say,
just keep going?
Yeah, we just say, keep
just
going.
Keep going. That's all you do.
We were taught.
That's
all you do. You bleed,
yeah.
Get up, dust yourself off, keep it moving.
For sure.
But you're not getting the help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not getting the help that you need to walk through that. Because, Pink, early 40s, 50s?
I'm
right?
early 50s, but.
All right.
No, but I get what you're saying. I guess I'm still not a help person. Like, I'm just not. Like, I've had experiences in my life, and I've tried to talk to people and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, I just acknowledge that it's my pain, and I have to keep moving. Like, nobody else can take that.
No, I'm not saying stay.
That's why I don't know, when talk about getting the help you need and this and that, I just don't get it. I don't relate to it because it's like I've kind of looked at that route in different situations over the course of my life, and it's at the end of the day, it always comes back to the mirror for me. It's like I have to go forward. That's it. So now I'm at a point where it's like those things happen. It's like, all right, I could go through the whole emotional cycle, or I could just cut to the chase and go.
So you got a lot of Band-Aids on broken body parts.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
No doubt. No,
but that goes back to my point, though. That's what we do as men.
Yeah, but that's
we put a lot of Band-Aids on broken body parts.
No, I agree completely with that. But it's just like, but you were saying we don't have the tools and with the circle to adapt. It's like I've kind of tried that at different times. It doesn't.
It really
for me, it hasn't worked.
And and every individual case is different.
Yeah.
What I've noticed is that just from my travels is that the relatability and to be able to have that open, honest dialogue. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of men who have had traumatizing type of situations. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like I've been through traumatizing type of situations. Yet, like you said, I toughen it up. I put my shirt on every day, and I keep acting like nothing ever happened. But
keep on moving.
But when you start hearing these men things, like the things that they're going through. Hey, I walked in on my wife sleeping with another man, and she literally had his dick in her mouth.
that's hella traumatizing.
That's hella traumatizing for a man to see.
Yeah.
I know men who has been through that before.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I'm trying to tell you, it's nasty. It's really nasty out here.
No, I get it. I just, it's just, again, other than moving forward till you die, what do you do?
Exactly, man. And we're going to move forward here. I think that was a nice little discussion to open up the show. All right, we're going to get into it, but really quick here, I want to give a quick shout out to our very first sponsor, Overkink.com. Don't forget Overkink.com. Use promo code Bubba Pink.
Good transition to walking in on your girl.
Hopefully they were using the Overkink product, and if they weren't, you use promo code Bubba Pink.
You just walk out of the room in your head, at least you use the discount.
Use that discount code. Use that discount code. Don't be out here using full price getting into shenanigans. All right. Will, this is what I want to do.
The shenanigans will probably cost you on some level, so you might as well get the equipment at a discount.
Willie, this is what I want to do here.
All right.
I want to put the clock on.
Okay.
and I want to give you 60 seconds. I'm gonna put you on the clock. We've been doing that with guests here and there.
All right.
And I want you to keep in mind, or keep a mind frame of a person that's watching during the 60 seconds may not know anything about the H League.
All right.
Maybe they know about the H League and they're reluctant to come out. Do I really want to? I want you to use these 60 seconds to tell the people about the H League, why they should come out, and what are they going to get when they come out there.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me get it ready.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Bubba's big with the timer, though. Bubba is never ready with this clock. Believe me, we've had enough of these segments.
All right.
I'm gonna cut you off at 60 now.
Okay, come on with it. I'm
Ready?
gonna be quick with it.
Go.
All right, so we're going 0 through 17. Those are for the kids. For the kids, that's what Ace League was formed for, is to give them an opportunity to see their favorite professional basketball players, whether it's overseas, NBA, and so on and so forth. Get to see them up close and personal and to aspire to it, okay? Also for my players, for a lot of the guys like, C. Warren, for example. The last time a lot of his people got the chance to see him, including his kids live, is during the summers when he's back here, right? Because he's over in Turkey now, winning championships. Shout out to C-Dub. I seen you out there doing your work. But yeah, that's giving my professional players an opportunity to be seen by their family and friends again. And then as far as the people who decide if they want to mess with the Ace that's 18 and above, well, I don't care if you come or not. Like, at the end of the day, like, this is the best basketball in the state of Florida. And it is no question. Everybody know what it is at this point. So, like I said, June 11th at 1:30, Smith Center, 1723 Bruton. Oh, we ride.
Right down the road from here.
Yep.
Right down the road from here.
1 minute exactly.
There you go.
Check
Boom.
my guy out there, man. Yeah, man. And we got I got the promo up here, $50 season tickets. You just can't beat it with a stick.
Yep.
Can't beat it with a stick. And that's all the games because it's typically, 5 or 6 games a day?
So we do 4 games a day.
4 games a day.
4 games a day every Sunday.
And that goes to the playoffs and championship.
Yeah, that's playoff championships, everything.
Great day in the morning.
Think about that. I mean,
So
you're getting at least 34 games you can watch of the top players from around the world in one league.
High flying.
Yeah. Oh, you already know.
They flying all over the place.
And I'm on the mic talking bad about you. You get it put on your head, I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, 7 weeks of regular season play and the playoffs.
Yeah.
Available for $50.
No, that's for sure.
And just a great atmosphere too. Just great to be around. Great to be seen.
Block.
Yeah, that's last year's championship.
Right, this was their little competition.
That's right.
Time.
Exactly. And you guys can catch that. I got this clip on YouTube. They're on YouTube or Google, H League Orlando, and all these clips will pop up for you there if you want to see what H League is about. So, what has there been any? So we're going on. This is the what season for you guys?
The 2022
Season
MVP of the Ace League Proam. It is Darius Washington Jr. Let's go.
Dark passes taught us, sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought. Song till a new day be, till victory is won.
Oh, we live. Bang, bang, throw away, bacon for 3.
Yeah, I know that name Price in the podcast.
Trade ball, Darius Washington. All right, here we go. Oh, nice find. And finish, Scotty James. Wait out of time. Bang, bang. Darius Washington. Here we go. Scotty
a
James.
different level than the men's league stuff that we deal with the rest of the year, and it's just exciting to be a part of, and I can't wait to get in the gym on Sunday.
That's for sure. That's for sure. So, you guys are going through the process and everything. What has been some challenges in putting this thing together? Has it gotten easier as the years go by, or is it getting does it get tougher at times?
It's definitely tough, Bub. That's a great question, because like there's been times where I wanted to hang it up, because I mean, quite honestly, this is a lot of work that goes into the production of these games, and that's the part that I don't think most people will appreciate. To have these communications with these pro guys, have this communication, the organization, talking to these gyms, getting your officials, getting the volunteer. I mean, just everything that goes into it, even in the jersey sizes, because, guys got specific numbers they want and things of that nature, but they don't understand that the jersey supplier has already, I have a time frame in which I got to do it.
Right.
So there's a lot of challenges there. And then you also got to look at it from the standpoint of, Florida is different, man. I mean, Central Florida right here is really, really different. I know people told me that prior to going into this, but it is different to the likes of, they have this mentality. If you're not from here, then you can't represent the city. But we can be from here, and we don't got to do nothing for the city. And it doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
exactly.
You're mad at somebody who came here, who's lived over here over a decade now, too, by the way. But you're mad at somebody who's coming into town, who's, fed people, clothed people, given out free, thousands of folks dealt with. And you got an issue with how I'm moving, you can always take over. You know what I mean? And I don't got no problem being the person who turns around and supports it. So I think that's been one of the biggest challenges, because like the growth in the product, as far as the actual on-game product, has grown every year. Like this year, I'm super excited about the actual product and the players. The players are ready to play. Like when I say they ready to play, our games are going to be packed. You know what I mean? They're going to be jam-packed with excitement, action. It's just the people. Like, I wish more people would understand like what this is and what the ultimate game plan is. I don't even talk about it. The first couple of years, I used to talk about the game plan and what I was going to get ready to do, and I realized I got probably more people against me than for me. But it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. I don't stop. I can't stop. You can't stop what God's ordained, right?
Right.
So, it is what it is. So I keep on pushing.
Exactly. Now so do you want to expound on that or keep it moving?
I mean, look, come on.
No, I'm asking because when you see the different stuff, right, that goes on social media,
absolutely,
right, as it's going on, whether people have negative comments or whether it's people thinking you should have done things in a different way or a different manner, et cetera, et cetera. Like, how do you process all of that? How do you decide, okay, I'm going to respond to this, not that? That's foolishness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's a good point. I got that.
You. All right, so look, case in point, right? One, I'm not perfect. Okay, so I'll put that out there. And here's the thing: I don't have any problem being held accountable for things that, if I say it, I mean it. I stand on everything that I say. And if if somebody needs to hold me to the carpet as a man, if there was a way, if there was something that I felt that you done that, I don't really approve of, guess what? I come and holler at you as a man, like, saying face to face, and I don't do that whole social media stuff. Like everything you see I do on social media is for production, it's for having fun. I don't take social media as real life scenarios, okay? So, a lot of time people see me out there cracking jokes and saying all kinds of crazy stuff, you know what I mean? That's for entertainment purposes, because that's what social media is, man. It's for entertainment purposes. So yeah, to expound on what you said as far as, the things that have happened throughout the community and things of that nature, I see it. I pretty much see it all. You know what I'm saying? Because I got, when you're your own boss, man, you got your own time. You know what I'm saying? So you get to sit there and surf, and you see all that, the different stuff being said and everything else. But you have to realize is that, for me personally, what God has ordained, you know what I mean? Like, you got to expect people to cast stones at you. Like, you have to. You know what I'm saying? And even if there's something that I could have done better, address me. You see what I'm saying? Address me personally. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got to be on no gangster thug, like, because, there's a lot of thugs, man.
It's so many, man. It's so many, man.
No, and I don't be understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, you can come talk to me as a man.
Right.
Yeah.
Just come talk to me as a man. We get it figured out. And if I'm in the wrong, I am a cognitive person who can realize and identify, I done made mistakes. I done made mistakes as a father. I done made mistakes as a husband. You know what I mean? So I'm going to make some mistakes. And if you see me make a mistake, I don't got no problem with you calling me to the carpet about it. But there's a way that you go about it. You see what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing about it. And it's like, if you're going to do it, I also want to see you supporting in that same way, because that's where I feel that you're coming from a good place. Okay? Like, if you're a person who's been supporting me for years and everything else, and you've been showing love, showing up to the game, so on and so forth, or whatever it may be, or just some of the things that I've done in the community, you donated money or you donated clothes, then I get it. But here's the truth of the matter is, you know how many professional basketball players I know?
I gotta be
Hundreds, if not thousands.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how many have donated to Ace?
I would say probably not that many.
One.
One did?
One.
That's surprising.
Out of all the professional basketball players I know, one has donated. You know who that one is? Chris Warren.
For real?
Chris Warren is the only person ever in the history of Ace over the last 5 years, whether I'm passing out food, whether
I was just going to say,
like,
this is not just a basketball thing. You guys do things in the community.
Look, the stuff I do in the community, that stuff I don't even go seen, because I don't think that that's the type of stuff that should even be out. Even in 2000 or 2020, when I was passing out all that food,
yeah,
when y'all seen that stuff, that wasn't my idea to videotape that stuff. That was my partner's idea to saying this is a good way for us to show our nonprofit side and everything else.
Right.
And I disagreed with it originally. Because I don't believe in doing that. You know what I mean? Like, there's a biblical principle that says, your left hand should never know what your right hand's doing and vice versa. And so it's like, my thing is, when I work and the things that I do, the stuff that I give to the kids, like, you ask some of these principles about me. See, there's a reason why I was able to, host a basketball league in the midst of a pandemic when a multi-billion-dollar organization like the NBA was closed.
Yeah.
You see what
that will always be one of my that was my favorite day of the pandemic, was opening Ace Day of that. I will never forget that.
So the people who really know and who really matter, like the city of Orlando with some of the board, ask the board of trustees, like my guy Kevin that's over there, who's on the board. Ask him what I do in the community for real. That stuff never goes to social media. I've never talked about it. I'm not even going to talk about all the details. Hell, but I do it. You see what I'm saying? And that's the stuff people just limit me to basketball, but it's much bigger than basketball. Much bigger.
For sure. And you know what I felt uncomfortable with was, in the midst of anything that foolishness was going on or those comments, is the third parties who took sides and was just going hard on that side. And it's like, because you really don't know what's going on if you're not in it. You're not even a part of Ace League. And you got these strong comments about what Ace League or what Will is doing. And it's like, Ace League's not going to be able to bounce back. They're not going to have next season. Now they're here, then now what? I don't know. Like, you know what I mean?
See, that's people trying to put their limitations on you. You see what I'm saying? And that's really what it boils down to. And I'm gonna give you a true story. True story is that I allowed that thought process to hinder me from going to play in the NBA. Right? The thought process of being a guy from the hood who was good enough to do it, but long as I got the respect from the dope boys, the hood cats, you know what I'm saying, and all that type of deal, like, he can really go. Was
good enough.
I was good enough, because anytime it seemed like I excelled even more, when I won the 1997, U.S. Junior National MVP against Shane Battier and all those guys, when I did that, my name is right there at Eastern Michigan, MVP. When I beat out all the top players in the state of Michigan, right, I got pushback. I got pushback from the hood. Like, talking about I was getting commercial. You see what I'm saying? Because, like, you grew up the way I grew up. You got some people who really don't want to see you succeed. And I was still young and stupid enough to realize, I would rather have their accolations and have their praise for me than to me go be successful. You see what I mean? And that's the thought process. Hence why Ace got created. Because I know there's a lot of young men out here that feels the same way.
Exactly.
To sort of lift the limitations that somebody's environment puts on them.
Yes, and that's really what it is. I mean, think about it. I'm an outsider coming in, said I was going to do this, started doing it, and has done it. Like, you see what I mean? Like, I just got back from Vegas a few hours ago. They know what ACE is out in Vegas. You see what I mean?
Exactly.
And so what we're talking about is now we've stretched to the point now where we're across the country. Like, literally, my guy John on them in Atlanta, they know who I am. Debo and them down in Miami, they know who I am. Like, wherever you want to go. My guy Mason Brawley and all them guys up in Dallas and all that, they know who I am. Like, we're here. Ace is here. We're not going nowhere. At the end of the day, like, whatever people decide that I don't like Will, I don't like Ace, and that is your prerogative. As a grown man, I feel no emotional, anything when a grown man said, I think Will a fuck nigga, or he's this, or he that. I have no different. You can think I'm a clown, you can say I'm a clown. That is your prerogative. I'm not going to let, I'm in my mid-40s now. So now, you get to this age, it's like, how you feel about me directs my life? That don't even make sense.
It don't make sense. I literally was just talking about that a couple weeks ago.
Bubba was like, as long as he's got, what he needs, if he's got money and coochie, he doesn't care about respect.
Yeah,
that was what you were saying. I get it.
Being honest, I mean, if you want to say coochie, wife, if you're hearing this.
Yeah.
But, like, at the end of the day, like, my wife loves me, my kids
family
love me.
Yeah.
Like, who is these people that, we're like this and we're like that, and, he this, that. Yo, you were entitled to feel that way. I'm not trying to change your opinion of it. Because whatever it is.
It's a little bit of like the notion of the man in the arena. Like, if you were going to step forward and try to accomplish anything, you have to recognize that that's going to come with hatred.
Yes.
It's just, you have to accept that, or you'll never get out of the blocks or never get into that arena to begin with. No matter what it is, if it's like building the Ace League and stuff like that, if it's pursuing a professional career, if it's doing anything in the public sphere, you have to accept that hatred will follow.
Oh, absolutely.
And be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
No, that's facts.
What did LeBron said? I think it was LeBron, and just me mentioning that, you're gonna get you're gonna get a couple people that's gonna feel some type of way. Just me mentioning that name, boy, that's a trigger. Boy, I tell
you mentioned it so much.
I know. I do it on purpose though, because if
to drive me crazy.
No. Honestly, Pink, this is what I do it for, man. Honestly, because I know it triggers people in such ways just by the mere mention of his name. And the fact that a lot of these guys, do you realize on my friends list how many people that don't actually like me, but they can't stop following me because I'm so interested? No,
dude.
I am dead serious.
No, I agree with you because I remember. Do you remember the Howard Stern movie?
Yes.
There was a scene in there, and they were breaking down the numbers when he was first kind of rising, and it's like the average person that loves Howard Stern listens for 32 minutes. The average person that hates Howard Stern listens for 47 and a half minutes. Yes. And it was like real stats. And it's that weird thing where it's just like, even when you don't like it, you can't separate yourself from it. Exactly. It's crazy.
Exactly.
It becomes like a drug for some people.
No, that's for sure, man. That's for sure. So let's talk. Let's dive into a little bit more, and let's talk about some of the teams. You kind of hinted at it in the beginning, right? Uh-huh. Talking about some of the different teams. But here are a couple of teams that I identified as just looking at the rosters that has the best chance. You tell me if I left somebody off, and then we can kind of go through and talk about some of the names.
5 that you got up here right now?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's and in case you can't see, that's Pedro Posse Blue.
I got great eyesight. I got great eyesight.
Pedro Posse Blue, Heart and Soul. I have up there. Who else I got? I got Metro West. Uh-huh. I have Stay Gorilla. I have Top Shotters. Okay, and then I put Gray on there because I got Pink. Yeah, I can't take them off. But I those are my guys too now.
That's a little inside track.
But those my guys too. I love those guys too. All right. So let's talk about it. First of all, who did I leave somebody off?
As far as
a team, a
championship contender.
Yes.
Okay, look, I'm gonna just be quite honest with you. You left off 2 teams that we're going to see what they are. That NCF roster, that NCF Elite roster, that's the North Boys.
Who's you remember a couple names?
Yeah, that's Ike Smith and them. That's Hunter Williams. That's Dennis Marvin. Like, They got
So it's like a wild card team that you think that could make some noise.
Here's what I know, okay? Because I've been doing this a long time, and what I know is that the people who say the least are oftentimes the most famous.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what
That's
I say
facts.
is that when NCF Elite reached out to me, Hunter Williams is the owner of that. You met him the other
Yeah.
day at the team owner group. You know, he's a former pro and all that type there. They submitted their roster. He asked me, he's like, hey, Will, I want to join Ace. I heard about it. And I'm up in Gainesville, so forth. I got a good, strong roster. I said, submit the roster. That's the standard protocol. I go through the roster. I verify, make sure everybody's, you know who they say he is. He comes through. He says, how much is it? I tell him $1,000 per team or whatever. Cash App shows up 15 minutes later. That was months ago, man. He had his full roster, hasn't wavered, had his 12 guys with his stuff in months ago. And since then, there's been people and teams taking shots at him and everything else. I ain't even going to say no names, but, they've been taking shots at his team. And their response is, see you on Sunday. So, when people move that way and they move with that kind of confidence, that tells me something. They know something I don't. And I don't really know that roster besides the one person that's been in Ace before, Luis Jacobo. I don't know their roster like that. I just look their guys up, and their guys obviously are pros. So they know something that none of us do. You know what I mean? I don't know if they played together before. I know the two played in Troy together, but, they comfortable. And then the other team, this AI math squad, what people don't realize is this is a young, hungry team. Obviously, yes, my two boys are on it, and yes, I'll tell them to their face, if you looking like bun cakes out there, they already know. They've dealt with me for 24 and 22 years.
Yeah.
So they know how I do. So I tell them, if you're looking like bun cakes, this is what you're looking like. But the other pieces that are on that is a bunch of hungry young kids. I got a Luell Dane, young type of brother, 6'9" out of Jacksonville coming down. And he hungry. It's Mr. Lee. He hit me up on Instagram. Mr. Lee, I'm ready to roll. Please put me on. This has been going on for months. And the second I put him on, remember, if you're coming down all the way from Jacksonville, you're not coming down here just to play basketball. Right? They got basketball up in Jacksonville. Right? If you coming down here, you coming down here to hoop. And I'm trying to tell you, I got them a head coach who is proven. My hands is all over that AI math squad. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so I got them a head coach that is proven. Both of y'all actually know the head coach. I haven't released it to the public, but I guess since I'm on now live with y'all, I'll break that news. Ivan Rainey is coaching.
Oh, man.
roster.
Okay.
Shout out to Rain.
Shout out to Rainey.
Yeah,
And,
we had him on the show back in the day.
Yeah, so what I'm telling you is that they're going to be coached well. They're going to be young and hungry. They're not going to come out here and go through, some of our top guys, some of the top pros. You've seen them at time or two, where they pick and choose their spots.
Yeah,
they
for
go
sure.
a little harder at certain times of the game, and then they kind of cruise control. These young boys, they don't care nothing about none of that. Do you really think these young boys going to care about somebody's name that is a well-respected pro around here? Not when their family and friends is out there and they know them cameras is out? No, they're not. So that's what I'm actually counting on. So like I said, the league is really tough, and it's no shot to Pedro Posse Gray because I know the program. You know what I mean? There was a point in time, Pedro Posse, I thought about changing the name to the Pedro Posse Invitational, right? Just because they did so much winning. You know what I'm saying? They won it the right way. Team, moving the ball and everything else. This year, the competition is so fierce. Obviously, Blue has made some improvements even since this roster been released. So there's some additions that's not actually on there, like the Aubrey Dawkins and Adonis Henriquez. Who else did they add to that roster? I think Fletcher I got on there already, but they added somebody else to some of the newest rosters that I just released the depth charts a couple days ago.
Fields. Do you have Fields on there?
Yeah, I think Fields is on there. Yeah, so he's on the
Fields
depth
not
chart.
on this one.
Yeah, so on the depth chart one, some of those made those adjustments. So like that Pedro Posse Blue squad, I know what they are. They're going to be good. Like they're the 3-time Ace League champions for a reason. But that Metro West.
I was just going to ask you if I pinned you down and said the one team, what's the strongest team on
Metro West?
You think it's Metro? I disagree.
But that's, I know.
Okay, so there's some of the names on there. We got Travis McConaughey. I love Travis. We got Jerome Harrison, Brandon Davis, Reggie. They got Reggie.
Yep.
They didn't have Reggie. Reggie was a different team.
He was on
a different team
Starving
last year.
Wolves.
Yeah. Who else? Because some of these names I don't recognize.
All right, so they got Aaron Broden.
I don't know him.
Aaron, if I'm tearing up your name, he played at Georgetown.
Okay.
And he's a pro, played for Jacksonville, played overseas a little bit. When I say I went up to this place called the Cuban Hunter Center, when I tell you this brother is smooth, 6'5" wing, 6'6" probably, smooth, could put it on the floor, jump shot, do it all, defend. Yo, let me just put it this way. I never make the same mistake twice, okay? And last year with the Metro West team, I had them pick 7th. They ended up winning it all, right? And obviously they're missing Darius Washington. That's a big loss, clearly. But what they do is they play harder than everybody else.
Oh, they play hard.
They play harder than everybody else. And at the end of the day, guess what? They coming down here, and they've already said it. Like, they're one of the teams that is putting how they feel out to the public. Like, I've already seen Bernard Nugent saying, we repeat. He tagging me, talking about knowing good and well I'm going to promote and talk about it. But he tagging me already saying, hey, we are going to repeat, and there's nothing y'all boys can do about it.
Some of the hard-nosed guys, they didn't bring them back.
Like, that's their whole roster.
Nah.
Who they missing?
What's the football player that played?
Talking about Jarvis?
Jarvis. He's a hard-nosed guy. They need him.
Right now, they're basically an all Jacksonville team.
Yeah, they're all Jacksonville.
So it's really reminiscent of Polk County. When Polk County came together, and it was basically, all right, we're going to get all Polk County. It's going to be all us. We're going to do this.
Okay.
That's the template. Now, you look at what Polk County accomplished. 2 finals appearances. I mean, certainly high-level stuff. And then, this group, with Darius, whatever, they're the defending champions. But they're looking at this. They added Reggie and Travis, who are on other teams, to make it an all-Jacksonville thing. And they're playing for their city. That's what they're doing.
Yeah. That's
we'll see if it works.
The best team overall to me.
On paper is Stay Gorilla.
It has to be.
On paper,
be, man.
It is Stay Gorilla.
I don't know.
There's no question.
This is a roster I know pretty much every name.
And they just added Rondo.
Oh, geez, Louise.
Yes, Rondo's on that roster now too.
I saw that today or yesterday.
Yes.
You put that up.
Yep, Rondo's on that
Great,
roster.
day in the morning. And then you got Ty Patterson, Eric Griffin, Keith Clanton, Niven, Scotty James, Get Brown, Elijah.
Look, okay, so here's what I know about Stay Gorilla. Those are my brothers. I love Stay Gorilla. They have been with me since the jump, right? And so they're one of the original OG teams. And, they come back every year, and they go through this thing where they look so good on paper. But somehow, some way, they take L's, man.
They unravel.
You don't play games on paper, Will.
You don't play games on paper unless it's, paper footballs. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, because that's one of those things where, like, as much as I wanted to make them one this year, just because of that roster is so loaded, like I've never, from top to bottom, I've probably never seen a roster that loaded in Ace before. Maybe with the exception of that select group year. And they still lost the championship to Pedro Posse. I mean, remember that year they had Caddy, Willie, Kevin Capers, Justin Gray.
Delonte.
Capers is nasty.
TJ.
TJ, they had some pieces. And so, remember, to win Ace, you got to be that. And here's my thing. Metro West has proven that they can win in various different ways. They can win various different styles. They're going to play harder. So if you got any commercial guys on your roster, meaning when I say commercial, that's not saying they soft. What I'm saying is guys who are just out there because they want to get a little burn, get a little sweat, say they stay active in their off season. That's fine. But Jacksonville don't play that way. Metro West don't play that way. They're coming out here to put a beat down. And so as of right now, that's the best team in the state of Florida. It's proven. If you win Ace, you're the best team in the state of Florida because there's too much competition in there. That's not me gaslighting. Everybody sees the rosters. You've been to the games. Bubba, Pete, y'all in there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all in there. Y'all see what it looks like. To win those games, you have to beat the very best players in the state.
That's for sure.
So
that's for sure.
That's not a far-fetched statement for me to sit there and say it.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this, because sometimes we talk about this in other circles.
What circles?
Basketball circles. It's a two-part question. Number one, can you identify the best basketball player in Orlando or Central Florida? Or is that possible? And if so, who do you think that is? Okay. And I guess you would leave out NBA guys, right? But count overseas, college,
Okay, I see what you're saying. All right, so to answer that question, yes, you can identify him. If you've been around the game long enough, and even though it is a revolving and ever, it's always the evolution of the players, because the players some guys are going to get motivated if they see, when I created the list, when they see their name lower than somebody they believe they're better than, that added motivation may just spark them to play harder than the guy that was ranked higher than them. Then that's for making them look better, correct?
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they necessarily have the better God-given skills. It's just that they're going to play harder, and there's more incentive for them to sit there and be great. So let me give you a case in point. Last year, there was a young man who came into the league. His name was Taylor Hendricks, right? Played for the Hooligans last season. Within the first 5 minutes of watching him play, he sat there and dominated the game in such a way as a senior, because technically he hadn't even touched college yet, right?
Right.
He just finished up his senior year of high school, and he was dominating my pro guys. My guys like John Farrell. Remember, they played against Heart and Soul, Chris Warren and all them guys.
Yeah.
He looked it different.
The crazy thing was I only got there at the end of that game, so I missed the show.
Oh.
By the time I walked in, they had a comfortable lead on Heart and Soul, and I was kind of like, damn, what happened?
Taylor Hendricks, I identified, and I said it during the game. Remember, I didn't know this kid from a hill of beans, right? He comes into the Ace, puts on the jersey, starts playing, and within the first 5 minutes, I said, wait a second. That kid is different.
He's different.
He's going to the league.
Where he's from again? What?
He's from the Miami area.
Okay.
But now he played at UCF this past year, and now they got him projected as the top 6 pick in this year's NBA draft.
From University of Miami.
No, UCF.
UCF.
Yeah, he's from Miami. He went to UCF. He averaged about 17-9 this past season as a freshman.
Okay.
And now they got him projected as the number 6 pick in this year's draft, which we had him at Ace. Shout out Ace. We can help you out. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Catch rising stars.
No, you catch rising stars.
That's what we're trying to do with Mikael Brown.
Exactly. And when they come back home as these NBA pros, they remember Ace. We're not going nowhere, man. This is something I'm passing on to my kids. So, you know what I'm saying? So, as my kids grow up, they can start doing it. We'll be around for a while. So, yeah. But, yes, to answer your question, you can identify. You can see what's what. Like, there's levels to this basketball thing. It really is.
Well, one of my big things is you always tell when you get the people in the same building.
Yes.
That's I can watch. We had a run at Edgewater today, and I could watch that, and then I could go somewhere else tomorrow and watch a different group of guys, and I could say, well, that's the alpha here and that's the alpha there. But until they're in the same gym, and they're playing toe to toe, you see something. And I have to say this. I mean, like last year, I mean, Darius Washington had appeared in the Ace a handful of times before last year. Mm-hmm. And even up to the midpoint of the regular season last year, he was all right. But he went on a run down the stretch where he made every big play that his team needed. And you got to the end of the thing and you say, hands down, this is the MVP of this league. It's not close. Nobody else has an argument right now. And it was such a compelling thing. And that's that thing, like you were talking about, guys see something or they get motivated by something and they find another gear if they've got it. And he still had it. And it was amazing to watch. It crushed me not to be in the final, not to win again. We had won 3 straight times before. But I could do nothing but applaud him at the end. It was phenomenal. And again, that's, when you get people in the gym and it's toe-to-toe, who rises to that and who kind of disappears in it? Yeah. We were at the, we'll mention another league, the GM5 Combine, and you're looking at guys, and they did a bunch of dopey drills which were absolutely fucking useless. Because why? Because I can't tell you anything about a man until he's in competition with another man. Then I see. Does his athleticism meet the threshold? Does his competitive desire match or excel against anybody else's competitive desire? Do his instincts and feel for the game.
Bones don't push back.
That's that thing, and it's like you can't see that running through drills. You can only see that in competition.
Well, no, and that's 1,000% correct. I agree with both of you guys there. Here's another thing I wanted to ask you. So we were talking about a player a couple of weeks ago. This guy named Tyson. All right.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I thought about it for a couple of days how I wanted to phrase this because
couple of days, bro. Don't hurt yourself.
No, because it's something that I understand with in basketball circles, H League, and similar resumes and being able to look up a player that matters because you want to know where they've been, what they've done. If you haven't heard of a guy, a lot of people hoop. But you may not know a guy who's been in Australia, X and Y, Z, but you want to look him up and see, okay, what he's done, what level of a league this is, what college did he go to, okay. But there are some guys, for whatever reason, and sometimes I'll say 80% of the time it's for a BS reason, and maybe something wrong with that particular guy, but they don't have that resume, but they have the skills.
No, I agree. I was one of those guys, so I understand what you're saying, and we had that conversation on social media, and from that point. What is it, Nathaniel?
It's Notorian.
Notorian Tyson, right? Mm-hmm. But he goes by YK Trey.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I've been watching. I've been following him, and actually the other day, right before I took off on this trip, he had posted some stuff from his Mexico exhibition that he was out there doing. Looked like he was doing very, very well. One of the things that I'm looking at, and one of the things I know about Mexico, especially on those tours, like the competition ain't necessarily the best.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so,
Juan told me that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, if the competition's not that best, and I know you're coming over here from, what's the Claremont Crocs, I want to say, the AA team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And, I watch them, and I follow the stuff they do and see some of the guys that are on that roster. It's like, it's hard to give a barometer because you spoke highly of it, and I value your basketball opinion, right? Because guys who are around the game.
Perhaps more than I do.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
Because guys who are around the game, who are analyzing, who are passionate about that, you understand the game, okay? Yeah. And so it's one of those things when you told me about him, and I start really watching him. I've been watching him ever since then. And I'm not saying that he's because he looks good out there. I don't know what he's going to look like when you got to go up against an Eric Griffin. I don't know what he's going to look like when you got to – because it's one thing to go up and dunk, put a putback dunk on somebody who's 6'5", right? But when you got Willie Reed who's standing 6'11" in the middle.
Or Reggie.
That's 7 foot. Yeah. I mean, that's different.
Yeah.
What happens when Keith Clinton puts that body on him?
And I don't know the answer to these questions, but I it's like I need to see it. Yeah. That's why, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I went extra hard for Tyson. Mostly because I want to see it. I need to see it. Yeah. I do believe in the player. Now, he got some other stuff that he got to figure out maturity-wise and to get things done and to actually go overseas. He had an opportunity to go, and hopefully he gets another opportunity. But that goes for quite a few guys across the globe, really, about the extra shit outside of the basketball court, right? But on the court, I haven't seen too many guys better than him. I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm just gonna be fucking honest.
You haven't seen him better than them at the competition level?
I haven't seen too many guys that are. Let me rephrase that because I'm not talking about NBA guys. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about guys that have been in NBA. There's a particular there is a particular level I'm speaking on, right? So I don't want to get crazy like I'm on fucking drugs on the show. All right,
might be on him off the show.
It might be on him off the show. All right, so there is a particular level I'm speaking on. On that particular level, I haven't seen many guys better. And you might what is that level? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Make the mark.
All right.
But see that
overseas.
That's
I don't know.
You're asking the right question because you want to see.
Yes.
And when you have talent, when talent exists, it's all about finding the level. Yes. And finding what your level is. And so, we see somebody, we see some attributes and whatever, and then it's like, okay, they're bigger than the setting I'm looking at them in. Let's go to the next setting, and where are they? Everybody's going to find their level. And
he hasn't found his.
Well, I understand that. And what I told you about him is that my feeling in the limited exposure I've had to him is that he spends too much time around bad basketball. and that he needs to be in higher level settings more consistently. Now, obviously, the best thing is to be in a professional setting in a good league. But short of that, he needs to spend more time in sort of private elite runs than outdoors at the park playing against me. That's where you push that level, where you find that level. And, hopefully he develops the connections and contacts to do that. And I'd love to see it for him because I've become a fan from what I said. He dropped 49 on us in the Goldenrod semifinal.
And another thing, too, like I saw him in a league where there were other professional basketball, and Tyson was by far the best. I seen him in the league. I don't know how you feel about these players, but Z was in this league.
That's my guy.
AJ was in this league. Rod Lawrence was in this league. What's our guy that does taxes? Romello was in this league. And a few others. And Tyson, it wasn't close. You understand? Like it wasn't close.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's the level of guys I'm talking about.
Since you put him on my radar, right? And that's what I've always done. It's I see guys who need opportunity to be seen, so on and so forth. A guy like Romeo Krause last year, right? That was his first year out of college. You know what I mean? And he needed to get some run against pros and everything else. He had his first this past season. He did rather well.
Played in Spain.
Yeah, played in Spain. Did rather well. That's cool. You see what I'm saying? Like, I would love to give this young man an opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is that, and this is what I, shout out to everybody who reaches out to me. I love that y'all, think that I can sit there. The team owners make their roster.
Well, yeah, he has an open invitation with Pedro's Posse.
Does he?
He does. I told him that.
Oh, with Gray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see,
but
that's on the team owners.
Yeah, it was right before the Mexico thing, and now
that's
now it's on him. Now it's on him. Yeah. And like I said, I don't know. I can't vouch for anything outside of basketball.
He's hesitating on it, or what?
We'll talk off there. There's some things recently developed, but yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now, once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. We have Will Lee here, Ace League Orlando Proam director. All right, we're talking to Ace League. It's Sunday is the first set of games.
Yeah.
All right. And right now, of course, like I said earlier in the top of the show, and if I can find it here, the tickets are on sale, season tickets, for $50. All right, and I don't know why I can't find it, but it's on here. I know it's on here.
My daughter was like, "Don't obligate me to a season ticket this year."
Now, if you don't get the season tickets, each game is
$10 a piece.
It's $10 every time you come. So that's on, you do the math, and the rest is on you.
That's it. I mean, like I said, and remember, we have limited space. And so I want to emphasize that this year being at the Smith Center, it's not Will Lee doing it. Let me make sure that I put that out there. This is not Will Lee saying, hey, you can't come in, right? What I was informed by the city of Orlando is we have a capacity limit. So my security knows that once I give them the nod that we're at the capacity limit, got to turn people away. You know what I mean? And that's not something I would love to fill the gym in there until we run around there like sardines. But
just keep the court clear and we're good.
Just keep the court clear.
You guys gonna bring some food back this year, man?
Huh?
You gonna bring back some real food this year?
No.
Or are we doing the snacks again?
Man, look. Man, that's something we got to talk about on the off air. Man.
Okay.
That's something we talk about off air.
I'm talking about any vendor, not a particular vendor, just any vendor.
No.
Okay.
We had a couple off air topics.
All right. Really quick, let me get this one in here too before we move on here. Our second sponsor, please check out Royal13thebrand.com. Royal13thebrand.com. Use promo code Bubba Pink. Be fresh for this summer. Find your fit. Come to Ace League, and you know what I'm saying. It's gonna be cameras, pictures taken everywhere. You want to go to Royal13thebrand.com and be fresh. All right. Let's go to Start the Bench with Coach Pink. So of course,
I like it.
Start the Bench with Coach Pink. We put up 60 seconds, and actually this week I have Will up here as a coach as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a topic, and then you guys will go start a bench. And if you bench it, we move on to the next one. If you start it, you're going to talk about it for 60 seconds. All right?
All right, let's go.
All right. So Ja Morant, start a bench.
Got to start Ja. He won't be starting the season.
So apparently his team has come out, Ja Morant's team, and said that the gun that was in the most recent video that he's under investigation for right now was a fake toy gun. and that he should not be reprimanded because it was a fake toy gun. That's what his team is saying. You guys go.
It took him 2 weeks to come up with that story. Hire a new fucking team. You're surrounded by idiots.
Their PR team is horrible.
Ridiculous. Seriously.
And that's really what it boils down to. Anybody with too good sense says that we're putting this information out there to lessen the blow. Because from what I'm hearing, and I released this last week, from what I'm hearing, it's a 50-piece. He's getting 50 games. And that's being confirmed by a lot of my NBA affiliates that it's a 50-piece. So guess what he's trying to do? And they can't even appeal it because Adam Silver has been working with the Players Association on the punishment as they've been going through. So this is one of those things where who can you get on your side? You're trying to change public opinion on what is happening right now.
No, because if Adam gets the Players Association on side, he has no ally.
Yes.
Other than public sentiment, but that won't sway the league at that point. They've locked it down. So, yeah, really, again, another misstep by Morant and team.
Time. Josh Allen, starter bench.
Take a look at Josh Allen. What's going on with him?
So Josh Allen has just been announced today. He will be on Madden, the new Madden cover. Now, a lot of fans are upset about this because, of course, Madden they have three elements of guys who are going to be on the cover. Either you're the best player in the league, most exciting player in the league, or you're just coming off of a really good run and they're going to put you on the cover, i.e. Peyton Hill is back.
That was disastrous. But he had a good run. Shout out to that guy. Apparently, I think he saved one of his children from drowning in the past 6 months. Kind of suffered some injuries as a result of that. But, I mean, my understanding is he's still alive, hopefully doing well. And, shout out to saving your kid.
That's it. So other people wanted to see either Joe Burrow on there, or they wanted to see Mahomes again, maybe, or just another exciting player other than Josh Allen. Go.
I got no problem with Josh Allen. I like him. He's a hell of a player. Is he the most exciting player? Probably not. And he did kind of fumble down the stretch. I wonder. I guess the question you'd have to ask though is, did anybody turn it down, and then it became Josh by default? I mean, did they offer it to Pat? Did they offer it to Joe? And here's where we are?
That's a good question.
No, I mean, ultimately, Josh Allen is who he is. He's a great player, but does he move the needle? What has he done in this league that he's getting all these accolades? You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Justin Herbert.
Yes. That piece of crap hasn't.
What he does.
Pink really doesn't like Herbert.
No,
but I keep hearing how phenomenal he is. But what have they done?
No, I get what you're doing, but he's at least won a playoff game.
You
come on,
a playoff game. He's been in the league 6 years now.
Yeah, but I mean, Herbert every year.
Josh been in here 6.
No, Josh only been 3 or 4.
No,
Josh Herbert.
No.
Justin Herbert.
Allen.
Yeah, no, Allen. I agree, but at least he's done that. Like Herbert hasn't even made the fucking playoffs or whatever. That guy's a clown. I can despise him. He's the poster boy for white incompetence.
I'm glad you got that off the time. Kyrie, LeBron, starter bench.
Oh, Jesus.
Come on, you got to start that. You got me on the set.
Yeah, I know. I've got no choice. My assistant coach. He won't give me a break.
So we know the news by now. There's all type of reports. Kyrie wants the Mavs to trade for LeBron. Then a report came out today. They think that is a ploy to get the Lakers organization to bring Kyrie over to the Lakers. You got Luka mad at Kyrie because he's trying to get LeBron over there and deplete the team. So it's just what do you guys make of all this? Is Kyrie just more than what that you should handle as a team? All right, if that makes sense.
I would not want Kyrie Irving on my team. I think he is a saboteur. And I think my first read, when he first said to bring LeBron to Dallas, I was like, this is totally the move to get this in play so that he could end up in L.A. Because there's no way LeBron's going to go to Dallas. And you're just saying this so you can say, hey, man, I wanted to be in Dallas. I tried to get LeBron to come. It didn't work. I'll see y'all later.
No, I don't disagree with that. But it's a power play. It's a power move.
Right.
And I think that's what and gets people upset with LeBron and Kyrie and players who take their own empowerment and they make the moves instead of these GMs. That part is what I think the general public needs to realize, is that they're independent contractors. Each individual NBA player is an independent. They get taxed as such. Most people don't realize that. If you are on the Miami Heat, you get 41 games at Florida's tax rate. Your other games is based on where you play at.
That is criminal. I think that is the biggest bunch of garbage ever.
So I guess that's my whole point. My whole point is that LeBron is flexing muscle, Kyrie is flexing muscle, and saying this is what we want ultimately. And if you're not willing to do it, we can create a PR nightmare for you. Now it might get interesting with this news of CP3 now being released today. That may change the dynamics of everything, because if you can't get Kyrie, if you think Rob Pelinka can go up and say, LeBron, hey, we can't afford Kyrie and lose all our depth. Well, we can get you CP3 on a minimum.
Yeah.
That's your homeboy. That's a banana boat buddy. Like, would you be okay with that? What do you think LeBron says then?
Yes. Hell yeah.
He'll take it.
He'll take it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so if you
for
don't
sure.
get him Kyrie, but you bring over CP3,
yeah. Not the biggest CP3 guy, but I'll take him over D-Lo any day.
oh, man. They got to get rid of that. $32 million for that ineptitude?
Yeah.
Out of here.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Get out of
God,
town.
man, that
Get
dude is terrible.
out of town.
I know he's supposed to have played in Ace 1 year, too.
Yeah, I'll pay to see that. Just see Rondo bust his ass. What we got here? We got let's go here. Let's go Joe Budden Hip Hop Podcast. Start a bench.
Go ahead, start him.
And okay, so Joe Budden is clowning Gilly the Kid and Wallow because they went out of town and they shared a hotel room together. So I want to not talk about Joe Budden and those guys. I want to talk about hotel etiquette when you're on a guy's trip or you out with your guy, your friend. All right, what we're doing here? Can you share a room together?
What type of guy you we talking about?
A friend,
These are
not
frat
a blood brother, not a blood relative, not a blood relative.
If they frat brothers, oh, you absolutely sharing a room. I mean, for those of y'all that's not in a frat, I'm in a frat, and those of y'all don't know how the frat brothers work. That is ideal, especially when you go in them 2-for-2s or the 2-on-1s and the MMFs. They want to come out. Y'all hear me knocking?
Bubba's a veteran of the train.
I'm gonna let you in.
All right, on the choo-choo. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
So when that's transpiring, I mean, obviously, like I said, that shouldn't be no issue there. Now, if y'all just over there jacklegging it, you know what I'm saying?
What if you're just trying
head to toe?
What if you're just trying to keep costs down?
You're trying to keep costs down, you maybe shouldn't have took the trip. I don't know. I mean, I'm not nobody's financial advisor or anything, but yeah, it just don't sound like
what was the lane Joe Budden was going after? Like
that's what he was. That's the lane he's going after.
Wait, which one?
You guys got to get separate rooms.
Yeah. No, my preference traveling would be to have my own room. I mean, like, if there's I mean, you really don't want to, like, there's just a whole lot of stuff you don't want to put up with another person. Like, they snore, they're going to take a big shit in the room. Like, I mean, are they going to fucking talk my ear off when I'm trying to chill? Like,
sleep. It's the variable. What if I'm going to a Chick-fil-A and I run into a girl or something?
Exactly.
We here for one night or 2 nights. I don't have a lot of time to get this, you know what I mean? All right. What else we got here? Okay. P. Diddy and Young Miami start a bench here. We got about 2 more.
Go ahead. What is it, Battle of the Ages?
That is one thing it is. It's definitely a battle of the ages here.
I don't get why does P. Diddy keep trying to date all these women when everybody know he's clearly gay?
That's what I was going to say.
We talked about that one
Yeah, we
time.
did.
I don't
did.
understand that. Though. Like, at what point now? There's been too many stories and there's been too many videos of him, in the window, like, saying stuff to men. It's like, yo, you gay,
But why? But so why? The question is, why do these women keep?
He's probably both. And he's probably cashing
He's a
out.
billionaire.
Yeah, he's
Right?
cashing out.
He's cashing out.
This is what we said last week on the show.
I know.
All the women have a price.
I know. He's probably funding her old podcast and everything, man. I'm sure of it.
But when you read the caption.
Oh yeah. So what's going on here is she's not ready to move in with P. Diddy. Young Miami doesn't want to move in with P. Diddy.
when I read that.
That's how you ruin a relationship.
When I read that, she's going to ruin it when she walks into the room and sees him sucking a dick.
Yikes.
Going full circle. She'll be the one
Going full
traumatized.
circle. There you go.
Yeah. I mean,
That's the call back.
That's too funny, man.
All right. Pete, do you want to talk about Messi? Start a bench.
Yeah, we talk about Messi.
All right. So yes, Messi has moved to a Florida team, right? Miami.
Yeah, enter Miami.
Miami, and I have a feeling nobody really forecasted that.
No, there were talks,
rumors and talks.
Throughout the year that was a possibility. I'd probably say for 2 years there's been a notion that he would finish his career in Miami. He's had a house in Miami. David Beckham is the owner of the Inter Miami team, and it's felt like a good retirement home. Okay. But this year, as it unfolded, the Saudis stepped up and made a 2-year $1 billion offer. Which then people were like, oh, yeah, how do you turn that down? And then his old club, Barcelona, kind of made some noise about bringing him back. There are some economic rules in European football that they probably can't get around to bring him back, and that's kind of what he admitted in his statement after the announcement, was that they would have to do too many things he wouldn't be comfortable with to bring him back, although that's the club that he loves. And then the Saudi, it was just money. And
again, how much did they offer?
$1 billion in 2 years net. That's after taxes.
That's insane.
It's insane.
Man,
Would you be willing to? Can you turn that down? I mean, if you got a lot of money already.
Yeah, and see, I was just about to ask that. It's like, how much money is? Well, you know what they say. How much money is too much money? And no rich person ever in history ever said that. You know, so I don't know.
But to his credit, he turned it down. This past week, N'Golo Kanté, a French player, he signed a 2-year deal for $100 million net. And
what was that one guy? I seen it was something crazy, like $265 million a year.
Karim Benzema. That's and those numbers are net. You hear those? Those are after tax numbers.
Jeez,
yeah, that's Karim Benzema, who leaving Real Madrid after 14 years. You did. Well, I mean, earlier in the year, like my favorite player, Kylian Mbappe, like his team in France, they're paying him over $100 million a year.
Net.
Yeah.
Net. Yeah. Look, what is that? What is that gross? That's what, about 3?
Yeah, it's got it.
Depending, if you're in California, that's at least 320.
I was gonna say, because
net. Yeah.
My understanding, a lot of the European countries, the tax rates are higher than we have here, like here in Florida and most of the U.S. Yeah. So to get to the net, it's different, man. The money's insane, but like literally, like you talk about a global game, like the World Cup final, which featured Argentina beating France, Mbappe and Messi. Like billions of people watch it. Like it made the Super Bowl look like a bad college game. Yeah. Like you cannot compare how many people had eyeballs on that game.
That's what we talk about in comparison on the other end to women's basketball, WNBA. Like, it's not.
But please don't mention that same breath as Kylian Mbappe.
No, it's not a lot of engagement. Not a lot of people watching.
Right, you're damn right.
Why aren't they watching it though?
Nobody cares.
No, it's not that nobody cares, man. Look,
I'm
gonna say this all the time. All this time, it's not that nobody cares. It's at the end of the day, people don't want to admit the elephant in the room, that nobody wants to watch big, tall, black, lesbian players that they cannot sexualize. That's not even being funny. Like, I got, any time that we're looking at the WNBA, let's put it this way. I'm going to put it in terminology we all can understand. Steph Curry, LeBron James, they both come out gay. Do they shoe sales and jersey sales go down? You don't believe that?
You said if they come out gay?
If they come out and announce that they're gay. You don't think you think that the heterosexual, because the dynamics of the demographic that go and attend most of the games for both NFL and NBA,
it's tough.
White Americans.
It's tough to say now because they have well over a decade invested in fan base. If you were to say
Wembanyama,
Victor Wembanyama, or somebody like at that early part of the career does that, I think their commercial opportunities are compromised.
Right?
Yeah. That was at the very, very beginning.
And he made that epic mistake. There's plenty of gay dudes up in basketball.
There's plenty of them.
Plenty of them. But if you were to come out with it, that's bad for business.
Yeah.
And that's what's hurting the WNBA. They have a bunch of lesbians.
But
they need to go to Brian
But
Pettis.
is it also not the fact that
that's
it's
sexualizing it?
Yeah.
You see, but that's
what
what a vast majority of white America, especially the demographic that is paying, that middle-aged white American male, heterosexual, he wants to be able to sexualize the person that he's viewing and paying his money to. That's what it is. And if you're not
on the
and
women's
they
side,
have no interest in you, right? Women don't support it. You know why women don't support it? Because a lot of the heterosexual women look at it as, oh no, they're lesbian, this and the third. Which WNBA is probably about 75 to 80% lesbian. That's just what it is. Okay, the players will tell you that. I got too many women professional friends. They'll tell you that. Like, yeah, that's about right. Yeah. You are ostracized for being heterosexual.
Yeah,
I've heard that. Yeah, I have heard that. I've heard that like in the college basketball setting. Women's side.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of sexualization,
I also think though, like that. Well, I don't want to get in the way of that. But it's also not a good fucking product.
Yeah,
it's just not.
You don't like women's basketball?
No, not at all.
Man, look,
I don't even like college basketball at this point.
I love their game.
I hate it.
I think what's happening is that we're not creating a safe space because we still live in a society that are not ready to tackle those type of topics. We're not. Let's be honest. We're not really ready to address, because if you ever watch women's basketball game, there are a lot more fundamentally sound women's basketball players than there are men. Watch the game.
I have watched.
I'm talking about the high level. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about the ones who just.
No, I usually will tune in at some point during the women's Final Four, and I'm usually appalled by the basketball.
That's interesting.
I think it absolutely blows.
Let's move on here, man. We got to move on. We got one more here. We got one last one here, and that's Zion Williamson.
Captain Sloppy.
Have you heard about this one, Will?
You talking about him about just having this baby or whatever?
Yeah. Well, it's another.
He's having a little bit more than a baby.
So yes, he announced that he's having a baby with his girlfriend. He's having a little girl. All right, and then all hell broke loose after the announcement, because there's a porn star, and they keep saying porn star. But don't ask me how I know this, but she's an OnlyFans star.
I will inquire no further into your personal habits and preferences.
And right, so she came out and she was like, "Oh, how is she pregnant? You were just with me last week, and you were spitting in my mouth, and I let you do all of this and that." She was getting like really graphic and descriptive.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "You're getting these whores pregnant," or some term she used. So she's.
And then she was talking about like he was going to move her to New Orleans with the other girl.
Yeah, he's going to move into Dots.
Yeah.
Something like that. So is Zion being sloppy, or is this girl just out of place here?
Well, at the end of the day, if you're the guy and you get caught in this situation, you're sloppy. But it's a difficult situation.
But he's been sloppy though for a while now. I mean, remember his situation
with his eating habits.
Well, no, he had that situation back in Duke where he had slid into some young lady's inbox and she put him on blast. Remember that became a national story for a little bit. I don't think he realizes, I'm Zion. I'm an easy target. You know what I'm saying? And you could kind of tell that he might not have been the best with the ladies coming up. You know what I'm saying? So this might be a situation where he's trying to make up for lost time. Because
for sure,
let's just be honest. He ain't the cleanest cut looking brother in the world. You know what I'm saying? Let's call this spade a spade.
Yeah. That's funny though.
No, that was hilarious. Yeah. All right. Once again, you guys are on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink on Sports Music and Mayhem. All right. Let's go here, because we mentioned about the CP3 here, just really quickly here. Of course, he got cut from Phoenix Suns today. So is the number one team you think he goes to is the Lakers from here?
Honestly, yeah. There's a high probability that he goes. I know there's been reports out there that said he's looking for championship caliber teams to improve on and everything else. But at the end of the day, also for the Phoenix Suns to release you the way that they did, and even swallowing that extra $15 million to do that, it's a signal to the league because you can pretty rest assured that the Phoenix Suns did their due diligence, see what kind of package they could get for him, and they couldn't find anything that was even worth their while to even pulling the trigger on, right? So they just said, we'd rather cut bait with you. That speaks volume. He's a 38-year-old point guard. So even if you do make the playoffs next year and you make a deep run, he'll be 39 if you were to even touch the finals.
Yeah.
A 39-year-old 6-foot point guard playing in a young man's game. Yeah, man.
I really think the most viable thing is for him to accept a limited minutes or backup role, but mentality-wise, he may not be ready to accept that.
Yeah.
That'll be the question, Because, again, I don't think at his age, with his mileage, he can play starters minutes effectively.
Anyway, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a thing here. And keep moving on to other trending topics here. The Skip and Shannon and Will.
We can talk about the breakup, but I really liked your take, and I do want to talk about that a little bit. That you posted earlier.
And that's why I brought it up, because Will Lee has been posting about it and has some really good things to say. So I'll give you the floor. Now, I do have an opposing take to one of the posts, so I'm going to see if you mention that there. But go ahead there.
If you're referring to the one that I said about the new possible what's being rumored out there,
kind of like the new pairings.
Yeah, the new pairings.
That's what I was interested.
That's not what I was interested.
Okay. Well, why don't you say what you're interested in?
No.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
Well, about just in general. Okay, so a lot of social media, what social media is doing, when it first was reported that Shannon is going to, depart from Undisputed and go through all of that, was a lot of people went to, of course, attacking Skip, and rightly so, right? Because he forced this with several instances on the show. But I don't agree with everything people are saying about Skip, because here's what I believe.
What do you take issue with, though?
It's not about what I take issue with. I take issue with the continued vitriol, not only just with this Shannon thing, but overall. Skip has been in like, for example, they say they use the race thing, right? And that's the part I disagree with the most, is they say, now I got your post.
Okay.
You got me. You know what post?
Now I remember which one you were.
Yeah. Now I do too.
Yeah. You said because Skip has benefited or whatever the term, and a lot of people are saying it from black athletes, talking about black athletes and things of that nature, right? Well, of course, every sports commentator now is going to do that. Number one, but number two, he's probably made more black careers than network television, some network televisions. All right, like he's like, and he handpicks all of his guys. Let me give you an example. Because this is something I dreamed to do since I was in high school, so I pay attention to all of it. Been following. Shout out to Jamil Hill. That was my first, not just crush, but but I followed her for a long
before
time.
Gabrielle Union.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what made me want to write for the Orlando Sentinel, and I did. Right. So but take Colin Cowherd for an example. Colin Cowherd, who nobody ever talks about in that light. Okay. Colin Cowherd has been on television for just as long as Skip. He rotates through these female assistant, whatever you want to call them, co-hosts or whatever.
He has co-hosts? I thought he was largely
I say assistant co-hosts because they sit off to the side and they chime in, they talk.
They're not true.
They're not true co-hosts. So that's why I said assistant.
Okay, I wanted to.
Never, and there's always female. None of them have ever been African American. All right, I want you to pay attention to that.
He's an Indian guy now.
Yeah, he's using an Indian guy now. Number two,
when he goes out in the world,
when Colin Cowherd goes out, whether he's on vacation, whether he's sick, he handpicks the people that replaces him. None of them has ever been African American. I want you to keep that in mind too.
Okay.
All right.
I'm thinking he's a member of the Klan.
No.
Oh, okay.
But it's just
Godly, it might be.
What I'm saying is there's a difference in what you do versus what you say. Now, take Skip for example. Skip, most of the time, he's handpicking African American co-host.
That's not him though.
Hold on, and you can use for different reasons. Maybe it's a reason. Maybe he likes the
dichotomy of every show. If you notice what's the dynamic? It is a black male and a white male, and that's that they want that to create that underlining.
But if somebody
two quick points. Mm-hmm. I don't pay attention that much to Skip. Who did he work with before Shannon?
Right before Shannon would have been Stephen A.
Okay, and was there anybody before Stephen A?
No, it was Cole Pisa at that point.
Yeah, but he
just a rotating
kids. Okay, my second question, which is which kind of becomes a part of the discussion of what you posted today, was that because you proposed essentially Nick Wright.
Yeah,
to partner with him,
McCoy,
and
that's the best person on Fox Sports to pair with Skip. But
what to the point that y'all just addressed, I think that gets lost with two like non-athletic white guys talking sports. I think the dynamic of that show just bottoms out with that dynamic. I really do.
There's that racial element that is still beneath all of this. And the reason why I made the post the way that I did and talking about the house Negro versus the field Negro is because at the end of the day, we view Shannon Sharp as one of us, meaning in the black culture, in the black community, he's one of us. He's smoking cigars, which I've been harsh on Shannon for that because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
When
got
he's
the
wearing
Hennessy.
the skull cap, because you're actually creating a greater divide.
Black and Miles.
Yes, when you're doing that, you're playing upon black stereotypes and you're putting it onto a national stage. I don't like that, but I know why they're doing it because I'm a businessman. So understanding that Shannon is the representation of Unc for us, right? And we all know for the most part, Stephen A. Smith has a body of work that says he's going to switch up to appease the people who are signing those checks, right? He's always said on his show multiple times, like, I follow the golden rule. Those with the gold make the rules, right? And so he's proven it. I can show you time in and time again
1000%.
where he said, I stand on what I stand on. Then 2-3 days later, after producers said,
After the meetings.
let me correct what I was saying. And this is the way that I meant it, and I'm sorry if it offended anyone. See, that's something completely different. And that pairing right there may not work. It may not work because it doesn't still create that dynamic of white Americans want somebody to speak for them. Right? The reason why Skip has been on television so long is because he attacks a black athlete in a way that he doesn't get the pushback that if a white guy from, that worked at Walgreens sat there and said, well, LeBron is a LeBum and Queen James and da-da-da, right? He can't say that out loud in public. Skip does it on the national stage, and there's guys doing this. They're clapping.
That's true.
And so that's what you have there. There's a reason why every sports show, every successful sports show has a black and white dynamic on both networks, Fox Sports and ESPN.
Yeah.
Why is that? J, Max, and Will, right? Remember, it was just J, Will, and Keyshawn, right?
Yeah,
For the longest. They slid in Max, right? They slid in Max. What's that for?
But that was as a result of Stephen A. getting Max fired. But still, I got you. Because they would have put another white man in there. I got you. I understand
they
that.
Did. They put in Mad Dog Russo.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
Yeah.
Why do you do that?
Yeah.
You do that so you can get that side of things. You want that talking tape because remember when you were talking about black athletes and Skip being as old as he is. He understands, and he's come from an era where he knows about the sensitivities of, dog whistle politics. He knows about the sensitivities of saying things about certain athletes. So he should know better, but he does it anyway because he knows that's what sells. As a shock jock, right? You calling a grown man Bosch Spice, what does that have anything to do with basketball analysis? What is that? I mean, I'm serious.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
What does it have to do with it?
Nothing. But that's Skip.
But we can't just keep getting.
But what is Skip? Skip is a creation of commercial.
Yeah, he's all that, but I can't go as far as saying race. I just can't. And I'm coming from a person who that's the first thing I look at. I don't think it's race. I think it's the dynamic of the show that you're talking of the shows that you're talking about. It comes from a higher place that says for ratings, this is why we do this for ratings. Okay. All right. But still, those guys, they oversee that. Like there are a couple of guys in sports television that oversee that. They make the decisions. If Skip wants Nick in there, Nick will be in there, no matter what we're talking about. Like Colin Cowherd, Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith now, whatever the case may be, even going back outside of sports radio, your guy.
Influence, right? I get what you're saying. You're saying their influence. If Skips comes up and says, "Hey, I want Nick in here," I feel like it's going to be great for the rating and everything else. I get what you're saying. What I'm trying to tell you is that there's a lot of people that are in these people's headphones. I actually made a post about that are in these people's ears, right? Those are the real bosses, right? Remember, even with the big ordeal that led into Shannon and Skip falling out that day, remember Shannon came back on that next day and said, hey, clearly somebody you wouldn't let me get through my log. Clearly our bosses had a problem with you saying what you said. And the Skip was like, mad. No, you didn't. Yeah. No, they didn't. And then, which I knew was a bold-faced lie because I watched the show religiously. And I was like, wait, the day before when you were on by yourself, you said the bosses called you and said. So I was like, damn, you just lied. So if you're going to bold-faced lie on national television, that calls into question a lot of your integrity. Yeah. Right? And there's multiple people who said that they couldn't work with Skip. Yeah. Right? Jenny Taft, she couldn't work with Skip. Mm-hmm. She said, I can't work with this man anymore. You had Joy Taylor who said, I cannot work with this man anymore. Now you having Shannon Sharp saying, I can't work with this man anymore. Like, there's something there.
That's pretty telling.
That's telling right there.
That's telling.
I can't work with this man.
Yeah, but they're not. It's just a race thing. Skip is a fucking. He's whatever, right? He's tough. He's hard to work with. Yeah, he's tough to work with. He wants everything his way. He's a fucking dictator of the show. Like Shannon doesn't like that. Shannon doesn't get to come up with any of the topics.
But it's the power structure.
You know what I mean?
Though.
Right.
The power structure. What happened is that Shannon's popularity has now
overseen it. Yes.
And now that's where the power structure is, where Skip is trying to change.
I think Skip needs Shannon more than Shannon needs Skip now. But Skip made Shannon.
No,
Shannon was off in the abyss before this show. Like, you remember, he got fired from networks. He would like. And in the midst of all that, he had a sexual assault thing. Skip identified, like, hey, I want this guy. You hired this guy. I don't care. I don't care about nothing else.
See, what you're forgetting is that he got let go of ESPN, and he had to bring in somebody credible to even have a run at First Take. Because remember, he's a competitor too. So now, at First Take said, hey, guess what? We feel like we can move on with Stephen A. as the face of First Take. Yeah. Even though you brought him in, we think he's better than you are, because that's what they did.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the fact. So now that we know that he's been told that, there's a part of him that said, what can I do to make a splash to try to rival them? And he did. I give him props. He did do a phenomenal job by picking Shannon. But let's not forget, remember, at the beginning of the show run, he was going through multiple people to see who he worked with best.
Yeah. Chris Carter was in that circle.
Yes, they're about to do that again now. Yeah. With Sean McCoy, Emmanuel Acho, Nick Wright.
I cannot stand Emmanuel Acho.
I just don't think he serves a purpose.
He is the worst.
I don't think he serves a purpose.
He's absolutely.
They're talking about Antonio Brown too, maybe.
Wouldn't last.
If you want to, I don't think. Of course, I don't think so either. But if you want to make another big splash for ratings, I think that's your guy.
Antonio Brown cannot articulate himself nor relate to the black community the way that Shannon did. You see what I mean? Shannon related to the black. He related to the black community in such a way where even when we disagreed with him doing the Black and Miles and everything else, he made such valid points, and it was coming from a sense of reference and deference that we could say
his story. I mean, his upbringing, the rural South, the poverty, and when he talks about that, you feel that.
Yeah.
And that builds an equity in everything that he offers, and will almost kind of shine up the clown parts.
If you're Shannon, do you go off and do your own thing like a Pat McAfee type thing? Or do you go over to ESPN or to an up-and-coming network that's going to throw you a lot of money?
Depends on, I'm about to say, you just nailed that incentive.
Well, it's
who you want that money from?
It's the combination. What's the money? What's the control? You know, I mean, if the money's, if it's whatever, if it's $7 million to do my own thing here in this platform and it's $8.5 to do it under ESPN, the $7 might be better. If it's $15 to do ESPN or $7 to do my own thing, the decision's different.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's really going to boil down to what he values at this point in his life. Does he want that creative freedom and being responsible to have to come up with the content now? I mean, because yes, even though he's the sole proprietor of Club Shay Shay, remember he's not coming up with those questions.
Right.
Like those are still are producers out there. There's still people who are telling him, "Hey, let's ask this question."
Well, I mean, he could still
relate.
He could still, he could still have a team or producers that do a lot of that legwork if he doesn't really want to. Yeah. And I guess the other interesting question: does he go for some sort of partner setup, or does he kind of go it alone more, or with some sort of rotating cast of characters? But I agree. I think Antonio Brown would be really bad.
Train wreck.
And you can't. Acho is just a fucking nightmare.
No.
If I never had to hear that guy's voice again, it would be magical.
I mean, Emmanuel Acho, obviously he's a very articulate and intellectual brother, but he doesn't have that sense of relatability.
No, he's not appealing at all.
He's not appealing, and like some of the times he goes in there and he does a lot of double talk. He'll sit there, playing devil's advocate is one thing, but when you are asking the question and answering it yourself, but then presenting it a new way to people, it's like the redundancy of it. It kind of gets like he's remind me of Marcellus Wiley. Like Marcellus Wiley does that all the time.
Yeah.
They just don't have the
he has his own platform now that's much better than he was on TV. But yeah, you know who I really like? Chris Broussard. Chris Broussard, I really like. I think he could work.
He's pretty solid
on that show.
As a what though? Against Skip?
Yeah, I think so. He's in a debate for him now with Nick and those guys. He's just a contributor, but I think he could do it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. When anybody that's working with Skip, I think it's been proven that you have to have the ability to go back at Skip in a way that sometimes may be demonstrative, and I don't see Chris Broussard having that kind of.
Wait, are you saying Broussard with Skip or Broussard with Shannon?
Too much of a Christian.
Yeah.
Don't make me vomit in my mouth.
Oh Lord, come on, man.
But Broussard, you don't like Broussard either?
No, I don't like religion.
Oh.
I can't touch that.
I can't touch that.
No. No, but Emmanuel
Oh,
Acho.
no, what am I doing here?
What happened?
How long has that been on? Somebody clicked overkick. That might have been Will. There. It's all good. It's all good.
We know where Will's mind is.
Let's
run that overkick back.
Get some advertising.
Yeah, that's all.
There's a lot of you freak jokers up there.
That's all that is.
Anyway.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny.
No, but yeah.
I would like to see Skip fold. I'd like to see him. I would love to see the show just not work out, and whoever he picks sucks. And go ahead with Emmanuel Acho.
I like Skip, but there's a part of me that would like to see it fold too. Just because it's your fault. That's the reason. It is his fault this time around. First time around, ESPN kind of screwed him. But I mean, Stephen A. did turn out to be better, and it's actually happened to him a second time in a row. Actually, it's just without his own actions, this show would have kept on.
Yeah.
But really, the second time is happening where his co-host is outshined him.
But that's what tells you, like, he's not a real talent.
No, he's a talent.
He's not a talent.
Skip Bayless is a talent.
I disagree.
He is a strong talent.
I disagree.
Because you're looking at
what's his talent?
You're looking at it from the viewership of what you want as a productive conversation. He is a master of shock jockeying. That is his talent. His talent is to say something.
It's not a talent. It's not a talent that I respect, so I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
I know. I'm not. I've said many times. I am not here. I am not here for the unwashed masses.
Well,
I'm not here for.
You don't like that type of sports television. Anyway, 100%. You don't like debate show.
Because why? Because it caters to the low intellectual people.
No, don't say that. Because I watch it all the time. I watch it all the time. Man.
It does though. That guy's not saying anything special. It's shock jock stuff.
Shock jock.
Yeah,
it's the low intellectual people, man.
He loves your guy MJ.
That doesn't matter to me. I don't care.
I just thought he'd get a point or two.
I'm not that easily swayed. I just don't care. I like MJ for my own reasons. But by the same token, like, I don't spend a lot of time posting about MJ. His career's over.
We got two more quick topics here before we end the show. Let me go. I'm gonna run through this really quick, and then we're gonna end the show on NBA Finals talk. The game is actually going on now. We're gonna get home and watch that. But really quick here, every once in a while, I do the top 5 things that I'm watching right now. Okay, so I wanted to run through that to give the people some content to watch. All right, top 5 things that Bubba is watching right now. At number 5 is not pictured there. All right, and once again,
I was gonna say I only see 4 over there.
And once again, I watch every type of thing. I don't care, sci-fi, comedy, weird zombie stuff, church stuff.
Really?
It doesn't matter. I watch it all if it's engaging. If it's
Is the 700 Club still running?
So at number 5, I have a fake profile. Okay, that's something for. I'm not gonna say for women.
That's what it's called.
It's called fake profile.
Okay.
All right. It's really about the description of the show is after being dumped, 4 months after being dumped, and then she embarks on a search journey to a fairer city, only to discover that her Mr. Handsome posed a fake personality. Okay, so that's what the show is about, and the women are going crazy about it. Okay, I started the show, but because of the popularity, I had to put it on here because it's really trending right now. So I got it at number 5.
It's a series, not a movie?
It's a series, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, and that's another thing. I kind of mix things up here. I have series and movies on here, all right? Number 4, I have Shooting Stars. All right, Shooting Stars. Of course, that's going to star LeBron there and some of his teammates from high school there. This is something that is really put together well. It's a film. For people who haven't seen it, I think it's on Peacock. I think it's the best LeBron type doc or movie that's been out.
Oh, that means Jordan coming out with one next year.
I think it's the best one so far. So if you guys check that out, it's definitely worth watching. All right.
Yeah.
At number 3, I have From. Okay. I have a really love and hate relationship with From. I think that this is one of the better shows made in the last few years. But the writers and directors are really testing us. They got people that are fans of this show. It feels like they don't have an end direction. I think it feels like they're just writing as each episode goes on.
Because is this
it's not
season 1 of the show?
Right now we're in season 2.
Okay.
And we still don't know what the hell is going on. But we are there every week. This is a top 3
I don't have
show.
I don't have that type of tolerance.
I know some people won't.
Yeah.
But and some of us don't.
What's
but
the premise?
So From is a show where it's a town. And it's in the sci-fi lane, okay? You're already out.
Sci-fi.
They're in a town. They can't leave the
Sci-fi
town.
animals and retards. I'm out.
Oh, my gosh. Let me move on. But From is a really dope show. For any sci-fi folks, this is the number 1 sci-fi show that is out right now, okay, for people that's in that lane. Number 2 is Dear Mama, man. Dear Mama. Similar to what I said about the LeBron thing, Dear Mama is the best, hands down, not even close, documentary / type movie about Tupac. Some of the previous ones have been like, who made this? But this one is fucking amazing. It has everything that you would need. This Dear Mama Tupac series here. I'm on top of it. I love it. All right.
What platform is that on?
So it's on Hulu and FX and Hulu. Okay, for all of my Fire Stick people, we got apps, and you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna say too much. All right. Number 1 is actually 2 comedy specials. All right. If you're a stand-up comedy person, which I love, my pops got me into it. There are 2 stand-up comedy specials that you have to watch. There are 2 of the better ones that have come out in the last 2 to 3 years. I have Ali Sadiq here, and it's called Lost. Okay, and then we got David Arnold. Ali Sadiq is on YouTube. Okay, he's creating his own platform, his own channel, because a lot of the bigger chains like Netflix and others, they kind of shut him out. They won't give him an opportunity, won't give him a chance. And so he said, okay, I'm going to create my own, and he's building it from the ground up. And he's killing it, and he's killing it with awesome content. This is one of the best comedy specials you've seen, and that's hands down. I don't care, Richard Pryor, I don't care. It's going to be in the top 10, top 15. I put my stamp on that. All right, David Arnold. All right, is another guy. The David Arnold one is actually on Netflix, and it's a super sad story because David Arnold is a guy who's been grinding, got his Netflix opportunity. And he passed away like a month or 2 after that.
Really?
It's super sad. But this is the last one that he put out on Netflix is one of the best ones, best comedy specials you've ever seen. All right, you got to check that out. and I'm trying to get It Ain't For The Weak. That's what it's called. David Arnold, It Ain't For The Weak. Ali Sadiq, lost.
What did he pass away from?
Natural causes, but the family really won't put it out. I have no idea. In some of his comedy specials, he talk about his drug use in the past. Who knows? But
natural causes gets a lot of people.
Yeah. It's not funny because David Arnold, man, just got his break. But I do agree with that because you see that a lot.
But you never hear Brian Pink bravely fought natural causes. It's a silent killer. Nobody fights that shit.
Oh man. So listen, the Jersey people just hit me back. Shout out to the Jersey people. Some Jersey people. My cousin.
What are you talking
not Jersey people, but my cousin. I've been trying to get a hold of him for 2 weeks. Okay. Anyway. We got the Miami Heat and Denver Nuggets. Of course, tonight is game. What's tonight? Game 3. Game 3.
We're tied at 1. First game in Miami.
One apiece that game 3. A lot of the chatter is surrounding this game, and I guess moving forward until there's another storyline, is Miami Heat may have figured out a way to let Jokic score. And there's actually a strong stat behind that. I actually wrote this down. But, not only with Jokic, but Jokic and his top 4 playoff scoring performances have all been losses.
Interesting.
But when you look at it through the history of the NBA, Isaiah Thomas, Steve Nash, John Stockton, Magic Johnson, guys who, similar to Jokic, get their teams involved. They're sort of
distribution first guys.
All of their top 5 scoring performances, all losses in the playoffs. I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Same with Jokic, right?
When it matters.
Yeah. So when they have their highest scoring, 40 points, 38, whatever, all have been losses. Is there something to that, you guys?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to understand something. It really goes down to if you're allowing everyone to kill you, like if everyone is getting the ball, everyone is in a rhythm, you're going to lose that game most likely. Versus, if you have one guy killing you, but you keeping everybody else cold, and then you start getting late in games, third and fourth quarters, when them legs is starting to get heavier, tired. Now, when these guys get these open shots, they haven't been in the rhythm. So now there's a higher probability of them missing, right? Because they've been running around playing defense, so on and so forth, but they still don't have any offensive rhythm. That's a very real possibility. So, I mean, look, Miami's a dangerous team, man. Any way we want to cut it, like, I was talking to my 10-year-old son today, and he was like, I didn't expect Miami to get there. When you got dogs in there, man, and that's why I keep, going back to this. Dogs change dynamics. This should be, if we're being honest, this should have been a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah.
But don't nobody in their right mind.
It might yet, to be fair, but
I mean, to be fair, it still may, and that's barking some type of catastrophic injury or something of that nature. But this is going to be a dog fight.
I agree with what Will said. Like when you again, if you're facing a difficult opponent, like what you want to do is create a limitation. And again, if you're defending all 5 people, like that's extremely difficult. If you're defending the whole court. Now, if you play in a manner that we're going to take 1 or 2 things away, and if you're going to beat us, it's going to be in this limited channel. That's a good defensive sound structure. I really got excited when I heard like what Draymond and Steve said about really the dynamic element of Denver is Murray. And if you guard Murray, if you make things uncomfortable for him, then their dynamism is diminished. And I think that's really the critical thing. That seems so spot on when I heard it. Jokic is so great, you're not going to stop him. But you're never going to beat Denver in a situation where Murray and Jokic play well. Yeah. And you may look at this and say, we have a better chance of impacting Murray's play than Jokic. And let's do that and see where Denver is.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I like the adjustment in the game too for the Heat was to start Kevin Love, and when you think about rotations, that led to Jimmy Butler guarding Murray for the vast majority of the game, which he did not in Game 1, just because of the extra little guy they had on the court, and Murray just had his way. And in Game 2, he didn't. But that also leads to Jimmy. Jimmy did have a strong fourth quarter, but people don't know if it's the ankle or if it's just, Jimmy being a little inconsistent. But I think, running behind Jamal Murray and limiting him the entire game, you're going to be a little winded and not be able to perform on the offensive end.
That's what Pete's talking about. Those are the idiots that don't know basketball. Like, I see this type of thing, and, I wouldn't be Will Lee if I didn't bring this back to LeBron. So, I watched this man score 40, 10, and 9 at 38 years old, right? And the thing that we was talking about that never got discussed is how many times he picked up yoke.
What's funny is we saw it at 32, but
right.
But yeah, you say how many times he picked up yoke?
He picked up yoke. He picked up Murray. Like, you're asking this guy to not only, I don't care if he spends $10 million a year on his body, he's still human. Now, if you can, at 38 years old, if you can score 50 and guard the opposing team's best players and everything else, and you're 38 years old, that means you're on some type of steroid use or you're an alien. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only explanation for that, because human bodies are not meant to do that. You see what I mean? And people just not realistic with the expectation. If Jimmy Butler's on a bad ankle, what did he say? He said the other day, don't nobody care. So what's the point of me sitting in there saying I got a bad ankle? Yeah. It could be as true as all day, but nobody care, because the unathletic guy who has never been in an NBA court, never been on a college court, never been on a high school court is going to say, oh, well, he should have did more. Well, how do you know? You only play 2K. Like, you see what I'm saying? Your fingers get exercised. That's it. You don't do it. Right. Like, man, these people be killing me. And I got this thing that I told myself I was going to do. I'm going to stop responding back to ignorant folks.
Please do.
Like,
amen.
Like, because I call myself a man of the people, right? And so retarded folks is the people too. So you got to talk to them sometimes.
But we kind of want to forget they are, and maybe they'll forget they are, and maybe they'll pass away.
Yo, when I tell you that it is out there something crucial,
There's another adage though. If somebody sees you arguing with an idiot from a distance, they don't know who the idiot is.
Right.
I always keep that in mind.
Now, speaking on that, just really quick.
Idiots?
No, not idiots. I don't want no smoke.
I have a few thoughts on this.
But I know we on air, so if this is another off-air conversation, you can just say it too. I'm always surprised how often Maurice Spanks, the former NBA player, former NBA and Ace Lee.
You don't know the half.
How often he comes on your post.
You don't see the inboxes.
Talk LeBron.
You don't see the text messages. Look, that's my brother, man. That's my brother. And, he's my guy.
Yeah.
But that nigga's off the chain. I say it's off the chain. Like, yo, LeBron then did something to him in that 2016 finals that I think is unforgivable for him. Like, he is the master LeBron hater. Like, I'm talking about, this is no lie, no cap.
But you think it roots to the finals? That's what it goes to?
Yeah, it goes back to the final. It goes to about $8 million. Now, I'm not mad at him, because remember, LeBron beat him in 16, and they got rid of him in at the end of that year. Had they won that, he probably still would have been on the roster getting, a couple-year deal.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So I think a lot
you talking about Golden State.
Yeah,
Golden State.
Yeah. So I think a lot of that plays a part in it. But this man, this is no lie, on Christmas, instead of saying Merry Christmas, like, you know how you say, like, when he got his little job out here at Georgia, he's one of the assistant coaches out there. I'm like, congratulations, bro. We're happy for you. Woo-woo, right? You know what he did on Christmas to me? Instead of sending Merry Christmas, he sent me memes talking about how Jordan to go over LeBron. I'm dead ass.
Personally, I can't think of a better gift.
That's what he did, man. I'm dead ass.
That's funny.
Yeah,
he's off the chain.
He's sick, but I be seeing it. I say, man, this is so surprising, man.
But no, that whole the 2016 thing, that makes a lot of sense.
It does, because I didn't have any context, so I didn't know.
I was gonna say, it's like when you really look at like human behavior and decision making, like there is almost always a root cause of it.
Yeah,
and it's fascinating.
Oh, absolutely. I make fun of them all the time. We're in a private group together with some of the Nets coaches, the Brooklyn Nets coaches and stuff, and like we take shots, like. Really shocked. And I've left that group now 4 times. Like, man, you just too much. I ain't got time for all this, right? I got stuff to do. He'll sit there and put me back in it after I sat there and remove myself. Like, I'm telling you, yo, That's the biggest, pettiest 6'10" catch you will ever see in your life. I swear on everything, man.
That's
that dude
funny,
is
man.
petty skillskins.
Oh man. All right, really quick before we get off, I didn't have a chance to get the comments in real time, but I always like to read them. So Kobe Grace is saying Skip is a master, shock value, Baker Mayfield fan. That's all you need to know about him and his analysis skills, though.
Yeah.
And he said you need to. Morant had too many chances, but GOAT organization for Lion. I guess he's talking about his team. Thomas Cage is saying shout out to Will. That's my bro from the L. What's L? That's the
Lansing.
Huh?
Lansing,
Michigan.
Yeah,
Okay,
Michigan.
yeah. Okay, shout out to Thomas. And then he was asking, he didn't know they added Rajon, I guess, Rondo. No? Who's Rajon? Yeah, it's Rondo.
Talking about Rondo. Oh, he probably thinking of Rajon Rondo. Which color? We talking about Rondo.
Yeah, we talking about nah.
Yeah.
Rondo Segura. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, but he's still raw now. Yeah, all right.
Play for the Grizzly, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's for sure. All right. Go ahead and before we get off here, just again, we got the Ace coming up on Sunday, and then any last words you want to leave them with?
Thank you. I appreciate that. So yeah, like I said, before we start June 11th, this Sunday, 1:30. Like I want the city, as much of the city that can come out up to capacity. And I got to make sure that I say that. So, you know what I'm saying? If you come up to the game, you try to show up late and try to see some of your favorite NBA and overseas guys, and you can't get in, that's on you. Because it ain't like I ain't advertised. Because I definitely put that out there for the people. So, yeah, man, I appreciate y'all support, man. Bubba, Pink, you know what I'm saying? Y'all always support, you know what I'm saying? And, all love, man.
That's good.
All right, that's it. On the bench, catch you guys.